It's all undercover footage, but it's all like industries that abuse animals, like the meat, egg, dairy and fish industries. And this is the egg industry here.
Why were they shredding the chicks?
The male chicks, because
they're male.
yeah. They won't lay eggs and they're a different breed to the...
Are they shredding it and then where does it get just thrown away, or is that...
Yeah, it gets used to like, fertiliser or like reptile foods, things like that. This is free range, so everything that we're showing, it all happens in the UK. And we show a mixture of free range, red tractor approved, RSPCA assured, organic, grass fed.
Organic as well.
Yeah, so this is free range here, because in order to be free range, they just need to have access to the outdoors, and that's not for any specific amount of time. But most of the birds actually won't get to go outside because it's so crowded in the barns, and they can legally house 9 birds per square metre. So it's so crowded in there. They'll lose their feathers because of the environment being so stressful, and they've been selectively bred to lay up to 300 eggs a year rather than just between like 10 and 20 that they naturally would in the wild.
I'm not a big meat eater, but I do eat meat.
Yeah, because the thing is that this only happens because people pay for it to. So when you go in the supermarket and you buy like the eggs or cow's milk or any kind of meat, then you're paying for animals to suffer, basically. So what do you think would stop you, because obviously you're against it, but what would stop you from aligning your actions with your morals and going vegan?
Stuff like this, I think it's just awareness, isn't it? Because like you hear about it, but when you actually see it, it's like, do you know what I mean? It kind of solidifies it a bit more.
I ate meat like all my life, basically, and I became vegan just 2 years ago, but yeah, you don't think about it, do you? When you go in the supermarket, it's all like wrapped in plastic or in cardboard.
Especially if it's like free range organic, you kind of just assume.
Yeah. I think it's just like marketing. I think those labels, they're here more for our benefit than the animals. It's to like ease our conscience and make us feel that we're supporting something that's not cruel. But yeah, I mean, the reality is that there's always suffering.
Even to reduce like 40%, let's say that you eat meat every day, maybe 5 times a week. Alright, let's do it like 3 times a week. And then that has actually still, if somebody reduces it by 2 meals per week out of 5, or eat 3 meals out of 7, that's still what, 30%, 40% increase, which is a big factor.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not the animal, the eat meat that you're saying is wrong, it's the condition that they're being raised.
No. I'm saying that any eating animals is wrong when we've got other options. So even if we treated the animals...
What if you had like farms that were good? I'm not saying they exist, but like they were like
local farms that did like farm the animals as well.
Not in this way, and they only did it this way because of like demand is so high.
Yeah.
And we just get people to reduce it by 30%. That is going to be a much better route for you guys.
But at the end of the day,
no one's going to do 100%. It's a big jump.
But you could.
30%. I know I could, but you're going to get a much stronger response. People telling people reduce it by 25%. And once people go to that 25% as a norm, hey, look, all right, Monday we don't eat meat, and Wednesdays we don't eat meat.
Yeah.
People can take that next step.
I mean, we don't support reducetarian because animals are still suffering. They're still being killed. And if you were that 30% of the animals who are being killed, for example, would you accept that if somebody said, "Oh, don't worry, I've reduced"?
You're showing us bad conditions, right?
And no, this is the majority standard.
Yeah. So I mean, the conditions are bad.
Yeah.
If they were better, would it be more acceptable?
But the animals are still having their lives taken unnecessarily.
They are, yeah.
I guess it depends on like belief in terms of like, I think some people just believe that animals are to be eaten. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like do you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like their lifestyle is like, this is just food for us.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you can treat them badly, but it means that like, when you can farm them and then up to the stage where they're like ready to be butchered and like served. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's like, it's difficult because it's like personal beliefs as well.
Yeah.
People actually believe that like meat is just part of life and part of life. Should be a part of human diet.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have meat, then you'll get like B12 deficiencies. Do you know what I mean? Like there is certain vitamins and proteins that you can get from meat that you can't get from any plant product.
Yeah, but no, like every nutrient that our body needs, we can get from plants and we can get on a vegan diet.
You can't get B12
B12 is a microorganism from soil. So most of the animals that people eat are supplemented B12 anyway because they don't eat from the soil. So when you eat animals, you're still having a supplement through the body of an animal when you could just eat that supplement directly, you know. But yeah, everything.
I think this is a great thing anyway. I was vegetarian. It's difficult for me.
Yeah, but you're not now.
I'm not now. I know.
So there's a contradiction there because
yeah, I know. I've reduced my meat consumption, sure, but like, see, you're gonna get a much better response. And I want this. I'd rather have this. Like,
yeah.
I know. Even like, if everybody was obviously reducing, we had less options for like meat. Of course, like people would eat less meat anyway. But like, I'm saying you're gonna get a much better response. And it's a much better way to get people to be vegetarian.
Yeah.
Reduce it by 20%, reduce it by 40%, and eventually they will go 100%.
Yeah,
that's a much better route for the cause.
I think there's also certain vegan products. Sorry to
I would never, ever, ever approach that because if I say,
but
if I say go vegetarian, reduce your meat consumption, I'm saying that it's okay to kill some animals. It's not when we have other options in the supermarket.
But what about like, you know, a lot of vegan products like oat milk and almond milk, like they're like I don't know if you know, but like production of oat milk and almond milk is like really bad for the environment because it requires gallons and gallons of water to just produce like, a small amount of oat milk or almond milk. So like that is also like, do you know what I mean? Like where's the balance? Because a lot of vegan products are like synthetic, they're not good for the environment, like because they're synthetic and all the factors and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like there's a balance between like looking after the environment and also.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not here for the environment. I'm here because of the animals. Like humans aren't good for the environment, but I don't think that it's okay to go out and kill humans.
Yeah.
Even though we're very destructive.
That's a big reason. You should go with that. I'm here vegetarian for the environment, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you go.
Conspiracy? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah. I've seen Conspiracy. Yeah.
That has really changed. But that was a lot to do with the environment, and obviously, like, that's definitely.
I mean, you can go plant-based for the environment. It's a good thing. But you go vegan for the animals because vegan is like an animal rights. It's a philosophy basically, which is a reduction of suffering as far as practicable and possible. So where there's other options, where there's alternatives, we don't want to unnecessarily kill someone.
Never ever kill an animal.
In a survival situation, I think that.
No, just for like.
Fun.
Not for fun.
Because.
No, just how we do it, but more sustainable.
But
it's still
thing is,
animals, sure.
it is just for fun though, because like we're not doing it for survival. The only reason people for pleasure, taste pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't think killing someone for pleasure is a good enough reason to justify. But say like, you know, if we had no other alternatives, then maybe you could justify it. It's like, you know, there was a plane crash in the Andes, I think it was, and they cannibalized each other. That doesn't make cannibalism okay. And
people that died before, they only ate the ones that consented after they died too.
Yeah. But yeah, things can become justified in like, you know, extreme circumstances. But I'm just saying, you know, when we've got other options, when we don't need to kill animals, then surely we should naturally choose the vegan option.
It's true, like, but look at the world we're in. You've got to be realistic,
Yeah.
People are not going to go like.
No, but you could. You could.
I think genuinely, I think it is just really like not. Sorry, it's similar to like, you know how like religions and different how they just believe in different types of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So like someone would like I genuinely just don't believe that like killing an animal, as long as you're like raising them well, is a bad thing. So I just think that they're here on this world for us. So. But I think that's difficult. I think there should be a world where you can accept that people just have those different beliefs. You just accept that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it means that it's that person is particularly a bad person for eating animals, as long as they're conscious of the fact that you know, animals, they should be farmed in better conditions. And, you know what I mean?
So let's say, like, for example, there's a cow in front of you, right, and they've had like, you know, the best conditions, they're happy, they're enjoying their life, which in a way I think is cooler to take that from them because they value their life more. But anyway, let's just say, like, you know, they've never been mistreated, and then you've got a vegan option here next to them, and you've got a knife in your hand. Do you kill the cow to eat the cow when you've got a perfectly edible vegan option which has got all of the nutrients your body needs?
Yeah, I know. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think it's like the belief.
People are eating for pleasure, not for nutrients. No one gives a fuck about it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So we've got everything we need. What about you? Would you kill the animal when you've got this perfectly healthy, nutritious vegan meal that you can still enjoy and still get pleasure from.
For nutrients?
It's got all the nutrients you need in.
But I'm saying people not eating for nutrients. It's real, like people don't care about nutrients. People eat it for like the taste. I like what Beyond Meat is
I
doing.
know
Beyond Meat?
I mean, that's besides the point of the question. The question is, would you kill the animal when you've got a vegan?
Ready meal, yeah, cool.
So you could choose to do that every day.
Yeah, you could. I'm saying, what you're doing is effective. Sure, it's effective for the people around us, and like it might convince me to be like vegan for a period of time. But you're not always going to be around.
You can't be vegan for a period of time if you're vegan.
Saying, let's say what you said has affected me. Now I'm vegan. After about 2 months, I'm like, oh, I want to eat meat, this or that, the other.
That means you were never vegan to begin with. You were plant-based. Because veganism is a philosophy.
Oh, it's a philosophy. Okay,
yeah.
But you don't want people to be plant-based if they can't be vegan.
So, plant-based, yeah. I mean, plant-based is better than. Why not? What?
Why not? Why not? You would, right? I would. People to be plant-based rather than.
Yeah. Rather than eating animals.
Rather than like not wearing leather, not doing, rather than the whole veganism philosophy.
Are you saying so? Plant-based is better than like
I'm just saying,
eating
if people can be, like you said, let's say after 2 months I decide I want to eat meat. You said I'm not vegan. I want to be vegan in the first place.
Yeah.
Would you not rather have that?
I mean,
never do it.
I mean, you could say.
Let's say if I say, oh yeah, shit, I can't do it, and you would tell me, oh, you can't do it.
Why can't? I don't know. Why can't you do it though? Like that's.
Let's say I can't do it. Let's say people can't do it because they don't have the will in me to do it. That's
right. Okay. So
and
you
most
could.
People don't have the will in them to do it. I'll be honest. And that's what we were fighting against. It's willpower. You said 2 years ago. Before then, you were eating meat, right?
Yeah.
And it's willpower. It probably took a good amount of willpower and a lot of influence for you to take that step.
Yeah,
Most people don't give a shit about it, to be honest.
Yeah, because they're not in the position of the animals. But if you had to live a day. If you had to live a day in the animal's shoes, then
of course
you would.
Of course, even because you've been exposed to all this stuff, and I understand it. It's a great thing, but people are not going to see this in a month's time.
Yeah,
they're not going to remember it. You might have a lasting effect on me or somebody that you speak to for a brief period of time, but you're not always going to be there. So the way to get people to eventually stop and reduce is to slowly wean them off it.
Yeah.
And that's a better philosophy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's a 4 year, 5 year thing.
Yeah.
Cool. If people I can't stop now, I reduce by 2 meals a week.
Yeah.
And then in a year's time I reduce by 4 meals, 5 meals, 6 meals. Next thing you know, all my meals will.
Also, there's also financial implications as well, because like vegan products and plant-based products are just more expensive. So I feel like people who do financially struggle a bit more will turn to like cheaper alternatives. And like chicken is cheap, right? Chicken and eggs and like those kind of products are cheap. So like I think it's a lot more complex than just being like people have a lot to think about, especially like
I mean. The cheapest things in the supermarket are all vegan. You got your rice, pasta,
I mean, like things like
expensive.
What is?
Some of them are expensive. Like if you want to buy like all these different.
I mean, compared to like meats and cheese and
you can
stuff.
get really cheap like chicken. It's still West Coast chicken.
Yeah.
Like, the frozen like.
I mean,
really bad. That's like 3 or 4 quid for like a whole chicken, which is like some people.
That's going to be the family.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I probably spend around about the same because you control your budget. So, like a vegan diet can be as cheap or as expensive as you make it, depending on what you buy. You can do it on a budget, or you can go expensive if you want.
Do like go to the gym and stuff, and they need to get like 150 grams of like 2 grams of protein per kilogram.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that? That's difficult.
No problem. Like some plants have more protein in than animal products.
Compared to like chicken.
Yeah, there are.
And whey protein.
Yeah,
which is made from milk.
Yeah, I mean there are vegan.
Get, like soybean.
There are vegan bodybuilders out there. Like they don't have a problem getting the protein.
It's a bit more like.
Yeah, but
I mean, I think it's just all willpower.
Even if it is, we're talking about an animal's life here. If it was like a tiny bit more inconvenient or difficult for somebody not to kill me, then I would want them to make that bit of effort,
Yeah,
no. And if you were an animal and a farmer in a slaughterhouse, how urgently would you want somebody like yourself to go vegan and stop paying for your suffering? You have to put yourself in that position.
I think one thing I do struggle to get on board with is I think just people's different beliefs and whether they think that animals are just meant to be part of diet, like a food chain, right? It's just like
I mean, they're part of a food chain that we've constructed and we've placed ourselves at the top of it. But I mean, in nature, no, like we wouldn't be able to naturally kill an animal without any weapons, you know?
Yeah, but then that's tools. Then what are you trying to say?
I'm saying, like, you know, we don't, if you can't compare it to nature because we don't walk past a herd of cows and start salivating, and we wouldn't be able to, you know, naturally kill them. We don't have claws.
Well, like cavemen did use, yeah, like cavemen did.
Like we had spears and we formulated.
Yeah, we had to create, like, if it was natural, I'm saying it, we'd be able to use our own tools,
Yeah, because
like without.
The brain, like our biggest tool.
Yeah. So yeah,
so can't do that because you've got different things.
So we evolved to make tools.
Have you read the book?
We have to. No, I haven't.
It's a really good book. I don't know if you've read it. It's about like how humans have evolved different to animals. I've not read it all, so I can't like speak much for it. But it talks about how like we have evolved differently, so we are just different to animals because we have a brain which is more like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like we have evolved to actually like have skills, and like that's how we've dominated, and like place yourself.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And we have compassion as well and empathy. Like animals in the wild, lions, they don't have empathy when they kill a gazelle. They don't care.
That's their diet though as well. They just gotta eat.
Yeah.
Can't live with food.
Exactly. But we can. Yeah. Let me give you this before you go. And just remember, for every day that you're not vegan, somebody will be suffering because of you. And think about what side of history you want to stand on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right, no worries.
Do what I say, yeah? Get people off the slope.
Never. I will never advocate for reducetarianism. Looking back, there are some things that I really wish I would have said then and there. It was difficult to try and keep up with the pace of the conversation, especially with two of them. I didn't really understand what he was saying when he said, what if somebody can't go vegan? Anyone can be vegan because it's a principle. It's avoiding animal cruelty and exploitation as far as possible and practicable. Everyone can do that. And the 4-5 year plan to becoming vegan is absolutely ridiculous. I think that even going vegan over a few months is very generous, and everyone should go vegan overnight. Reducetarianism, it doesn't work. It's giving people the wrong message. It would not get us anywhere quicker, and there's no science or data to back this method up. We wouldn't take this stance with any other injustice. Do we tell child abusers to abuse children less? Do we tell people who are racist to be racist less? No, we tell them to stop because it's wrong.